Judy received her Bachelor of Economics degree in Political Science at Albertus Magnus College in New Haven, Connecticut. She has a long list of community activities, most of which you are all familiar with, but I just wanted to mention a few because of her tremendous track record. She has been the chair of the Thousand Oaks Planning Council, 1988, of course, mayor of Thousand Oaks, 1992-93, and 1996-97, council member since 1990. Executive Director, Conejo Valley Senior Concerns, 83 to 88. Conejo Valley School District Advisory Council, 1980 to 1986, and I know a longtime member of PTAs as her youngsters were going through the school district, and we appreciated that. Director, Conejo Future Foundation, 1984-1988. Many committee memberships, including Local Agency Formation Committee, Conejo Open Space Conservation Agency, Community Planning Issues, Air Pollution Control Board, and many, many others. She has been a spokesperson for the involvement with the Conejo Valley Little League, the American Cancer Society, United Way, and a school volunteer, of course, as I mentioned. She has been an outspoken person for her issues and issues that are near and dear to our city. I present to you a fine citizen of our community and a terrific person, Mayor Judy Lazar.
I'm feeling very important. This is like Barbara Boxer. If any of you have ever met Barbara Boxer, you know that she travels with her own box because she's about as short as I am. In fact, she's shorter than I am. So she has her own box that she travels with. It's not often that I'm this tall at a podium. I've been asked by several people here if I have the authority to declare this a makeup for Rotary members. And I'm afraid I can't do that. My power does not go that far. Ray Taylor and I were commenting on how we're exchanging Rotary meetings. Tomorrow is the Westlake State of the City meeting. I'd like to thank all of you for being here and for the opportunity to address you and talk to you about one of my favorite things, the City of Thousand Oaks, and what's been accomplished here. Before I start that, though, I'd like to thank all of the members of the Chamber, especially Jerry and the hardworking staff for putting this on and somehow dragging all of you out here to this event. I really do appreciate it, and I know it takes a lot of coordination, and I'm delighted to see all of you here. For those of you who know me, I want to put your minds at rest. I'm not going to tell a joke. I'm going to follow the direction of Will Rogers, who said, I don't make jokes, I just watch government and report the facts. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. Let me start with a few of the facts. Thousand Oaks is, in my opinion, really a special city. Special meaning uncommon, noteworthy, unique, and particularly favored. Look around. See this city with its ring of open space. Review our enviable public safety record. Read about our national recognition as a quality environment in which to raise children. Attend a performance in the Civic Arts Plaza at our theaters, which are operating in the black, by the way, without a city subsidy. Note the statewide recognition for many of our civic programs. Thousand Oaks is simply an award-winning city. I'd like to review some of the accomplishments of the past year for which we can be justifiably proud. Let me start with economic development, both new and redevelopment. This has included a number of key facilities and areas. 4 years ago, the City Council of Thousand Oaks made a critical decision, the one that probably affected growth in our city more than any other. After a year of study and review, the Amgen specific plan was approved with significant changes to previous city standards. This plan allowed a homegrown company to continue its growth here in Thousand Oaks. We reap the benefit of that decision today and that expansion. It is a $2 billion company with over 3,000 employees, and it is a staunch supporter of community events and organizations. What a wise decision we made that day. Baxter Medical is planning to expand to its adjacent property in the industrial park. Another good decision. This past year has seen the opening of the Promenade. Is there anyone here who hasn't been to the Promenade? And the North Gate development, as well as several other businesses which have increased our sales tax. And we have to remember that that's our main source of operational funds. Several parcels in the city have redeveloped, and they've updated along the boulevard. And you see them as you drive along the boulevard. As a result, sales tax for the city is up 10% over last year. Recently, the West Boulevard Business Group proposed a plan which was conceptually approved by the City Council to move ahead to improve the West Boulevard area. This will include the addition of a park at the Gasco property, long an eyesore in the community, some landscaping and lighting improvements, and revised signage and development standards potentially for this business district. I'm really pleased to see this request come through because it marks a partnership between property owners, business owners, and the city, all working to find new ways to promote economic viability for smaller businesses along the boulevard. The city is currently also recruiting for a business support manager to assist in developing an outreach plan for quality jobs and to provide options to support our existing businesses. On another note, one of the buildings at 401 Hillcrest, our former City Hall, has been leased to the National Park Service, and it was recently designated by the Council as a historical site. Work has begun to allow the National Park Service to move in early next year, and the Council has also authorized renovation of the second building at that site to meet expected demand in, thank God, a revived real estate community. As members of the Economic Development Collaborative for Ventura County, otherwise known as the EDCVC, the City of Thousand Oaks has joined with the county and with our 9 fellow cities to promote businesses and jobs within the county. Now, economic development is not the only thing that the city has made significant accomplishments in. The Hill Canyon Golf Course planning is underway. This is another joint project of the city and the Canal Recreation and Park District. The time frame is to have an environmentally sensitive golf course along with equestrian and hiking trails and habitat protection areas, as well as a nature center, in place in 2 years. Our golf course architect, Michael Hersden, was even featured in the Smithsonian Magazine in an article that discussed recreational facilities that are compatible with the existing terrain. Finally, after 2 years, our $75 million capital improvement plan for the wastewater treatment plant was approved after a 2-year delay. The necessary improvements will begin as quickly as possible, and none too soon. With the recommendation of the Community Budget Task Force, the City Council approved a modified transportation facility at Rancho Road, and plans are underway to provide an attractive and safe park and ride environment to encourage the use of alternative transportation for our residents by carpool, by buses, and thus help to clean the air. A comprehensive wireless communication ordinance was approved this year after ongoing dialogue between citizens, council members, businesses, and staff. This resulted in a balanced ordinance protecting our open space and visual vistas, and at the same time allowing for needed communication facilities. Our residential resale program has been revamped, requiring only a thorough records permit check, with physical city inspections now only voluntary, a response to changing times and needs. On a completely different note, a sports capital facilities endowment fund to complement our already existing social service and special events endowment was instituted by the council. This sports endowment will provide funds for recreational organizations to improve or build sports infrastructure. The first grants went to ASO for use at Pepper Tree Park for soccer improvements, and to Conejo Valley Little League for field improvements such as restrooms and snack shacks at the Fiore playfields. We need to support our local youth organizations, and we're doing it. The council also authorized an $85,000 loan, a startup loan, to the Children's Discovery Center, as well as agreeing to provide them with free office space at the Civic Arts Plaza. We are looking forward to the day when the Discovery Center opens here in Thousand Oaks and at the Civic Arts Plaza. This is getting difficult. Not enough space here. The main library, one of our real gems, is now open 7 days a week. It has been thoroughly rehabilitated inside and out. The re-landscaping is currently underway. And the Newberry Park Library will open on Fridays in January, 6 days a week. As other communities struggle to find ways to keep their libraries open for limited hours, we should take pride in our commitment to education in this community through our libraries. After thorough review and study, we passed a 2-year budget this year in June, before the start of the fiscal year. Unlike our fellow cohorts in Sacramento, who couldn't get it done in time. Our budget process involved 15 citizens. Perhaps we should recommend them for consulting work up in Sacramento. 15 citizens from the Community Budget Task Force and city staff. These people met together in weekly meetings for several months. Their work resulted in significant recommendations to the City Council and an award to the city from the League of California Cities. This adopted 2-year budget added 9.8 police officers, and I don't know how you're going to find that 0.8, but that police officer is around. And those police positions are to improve patrol, investigations, crime prevention, and general operations, and therefore public safety. Other positions were added for building inspectors, library, and for the city attorney's office. Along with the operating budget, the city approved a 2-year capital improvement budget with significant expenditures, $60 million for the 1997-98 year. These expenditures include over $1 million for sidewalks, $600,000 for curb cuts and ADA compliance, $4 million for street overlays and slurry sealing. It's probably close to about a third of the city. In addition, we will be adding 3 traffic signals. The planned child care facility at the old Goebel Senior Center is soon going out to bid, and hopefully that will be finished at the end of next year. I already mentioned the transportation center, which is planned for initiation, and the wastewater treatment plants are underway, as is the completion of the library work, all part of our capital improvement budgets. The city has made grants and loans available to residents to cope with the potential outcomes of El Nino. In addition to all of that, we still have approved an additional $40 million capital improvement budget for 98-99. In total, $100 million for capital improvements over the next 2 years. Quite an accomplishment. No review of the past year would be complete without noting our volunteers. Our 5-point volunteer program in the theaters, the library, City Hall, the police department, COSCA, and on our boards, commissions, and committees has expanded beyond our expectations. Over 920 individual volunteers have worked here in this city in many capacities to the overall benefit of our residents and the entire community. As an example, we have over 500 volunteers working in our theaters. They help to bring in 150,000 children and more than 20,000 buses in 1 year to the theaters. What an accomplishment to be proud of. We are extremely fortunate to have this kind of asset in the community. These are just a few of the work programs that have occurred during the past year. And they support my premise that Thousand Oaks is special and noteworthy. Now, I'd like to go to a slightly different note. We all need to have goals for the future. I certainly do. I'm no exception. So I'd like to share a few of mine with you. We are now a city of approximately 115,000 people with an annual budget of $107 million. It's time for the public to decide who should be their mayor, their directly elected mayor. At least in my opinion it is. Currently, there are as many interpretations as to who should be mayor as there are people asked. I would urge that this issue be placed on the June 1998 primary ballot for a vote of the people. Secondly, the city needs to adopt a campaign ordinance that meets a variety of needs, one that is fair, balanced, and meets state and constitutional guidelines. I certainly support the idea of an apolitical committee meeting to devise what those guidelines should be. In my mind, a limit of $20,000 for a campaign and self-limits for contributions by individual candidates is completely appropriate and a good place to begin. Third, in Thousand Oaks, make no mistake about it, everybody is for slow growth. Everybody. We are approaching residential build-out. Measure A, the slow growth ordinance that was adopted by the voters in 1980, needs to be revised. Originally approved at 500 units per year, the measure was extended by the council in 1990 before any of the current council members were on the council to allow for 650 units per year to accommodate 3 large major housing tracts. In my mind, a significant reduction in the number of units permitted per year may now be very appropriate, as well as perhaps deciding and giving further direction to determine the kind and quality and affordability of housing to be built relative to community needs. There just aren't that many units left to build and to approve and build. I have prepared a report for an early December agenda, and I hope that the council will take it into consideration then. Fourth, because our city benefits so strongly from the work of so many nonprofit organizations, and many of you here are members of those organizations. I see you all over the community. Because we benefit so much from those, I'd like to recommend that the city consider a creation of a council of nonprofits, which would include all service and nonprofit groups, to act as a coordinator for the many volunteer efforts and programs which are available here. Over the past years, as I have attended meetings and conferences around the state and even the country, speakers have increasingly emphasized the importance of these nonprofits. Our city can serve as a convener or facilitator to further empower and coordinate the invaluable services of this sector of the community. And fifth, and last, as we continue our work on a new golf course, we must also focus on our already existing asset, the Los Robles Golf Course, and we need to begin its much-needed renovation. With all of our accomplishments this year, this has been a difficult year. The recall efforts on both sides, all sides, have caused a rancorous political environment. We need to put the controversy and the negative innuendos behind us. As a community and as individual council members, it is our responsibility to move forward in a cooperative manner for the benefit of our residents. Our citizens deserve a governing body that is effective and competent in leading the community. In that vein, we've been extraordinarily fortunate in this city. We've had some of the leading professionals in the public administration field as our executives. Grant Brimhall, our city manager, you know why he's not here. He had heart bypass surgery. Certainly, I hope it wasn't the result of the stress of being city manager in the city of Thousand Oaks. But he has been an extraordinary, and will continue to be, an extraordinary city manager for this city and this community. This year, he has done particular service for us and for all of us in the state of California, because he has served as a board member of the League of California Cities, assigned to work on a statewide tax stabilization task force. You know, I wanted to just let you know, Grant was up and eating bananas and cereal this morning. Pancakes, are one of his favorite things. When I stopped to see him on Monday before his surgery, I was in his room when his twin brother called. And for those of you who may not know, his twin brother had a heart attack about 2 months ago. And Grant and Avi had been visiting them about 2 weeks ago. And so when his twin brother called, Grant's first comment to his twin brother, Gail, when he answered the phone was, "Gee, you didn't tell me that this thing was contagious." Grant's spirits are high, his enthusiasm is tremendous, and his creativity and innovation are unmatched. We are truly fortunate to have him as our city manager. Now, and I'll give that too. Grant, of course, doesn't do it all by himself. He's assisted by our assistant city manager, now our acting city manager, Mary Jane Laz, and our city attorney, Mark Sellers, as well as our department heads, Bob Beery, who heads our finance department, Nancy Dillon, our city clerk, Don Nelson, public works director, thank you, Phil Gatch, community development, Marvin Smith, our wonderful libraries, Tom Mitzi, our incomparable theaters, and Kathy Kemp, our good, safe police chief. You know, in a general law city, the city council sets policy and the city manager and the city administration carry it out. In this city, Grant Brimhall and company carry out city policy, and they make us look good as a result. My thanks to all of them. I also want to add my thanks to my husband, Roger, who is sitting over here, for his support during the past year. Being the mayor can be extremely time-consuming. As mayor, I have attended, on average, probably 15 to 20 meetings, ceremonial occasions, and other related sessions per week. And that's over and above council meetings and staff meetings. Roger has had many a meal out of the refrigerator in the evening, and I truly thank him for his patience and understanding. In summary, I'd like to paraphrase Katharine Graham. To love what you do and to feel that it matters, how could anything be more satisfying? So finally, I'd like to close with my thanks to all of you, the residents of our wonderful community. You are what make it very satisfying and worthwhile to work, to accomplish, to plan, and to be creative in a very special city. We together are truly uncommon, noteworthy, unique, and particularly favored. We're special. We're Thousand Oaks. Thank you very much.